absolutely demolishing the opposition. The rest is history.
Festival number 3 of the 2019 SuperSport Rugby Challenge brings us to the northwest. This is the home of the reigning champions of Gold Cup Rugby, Rustenburg Impala, and the second match of the day features the Griffons facing off against the Welwitschias of Namibia. These two teams tend to struggle in the SuperSport Rugby Challenge, but it is a pleasure to have Namibia competing on a consistent basis here in South African rugby. This is the highest level that Welwitschias play at outside of Rugby World Cups, and Rugby World Cups are what they are always building towards, so much so this year as well. The 2015 World Cup they featured at and faced off against New Zealand in their opening match, and they'll be aiming towards the 2023 World Cup as well, and they'll have Zimbabwe to compete against for that spot. The weather is just spectacular here in the northwest, as one would expect. The sun is shining, and the one thing that we can worry about is the players perhaps getting fatigued by the amount of sunshine. The Griffons at this point in time have won just one of their opening 3 matches. Once they complete this match today, they will have played the 4 matches, as have the rest of the North section, which is currently led by Griquas, Pumas, Lions and Bulls. We are now looking at the Welwitschias side, and there are plenty of World Cup experienced players here. Louis van der Westhuizen, who plays for Pucker as well, he's a star for that team. He has played at the 2015 World Cup, as did Bjorn Conradi, another Pucker star, on the bench. Johan Greiling will come off the bench with World Cup experience as well. And watch out for Daryl Delaharp, who is the captain of this Welwitschias side. He too went to the World Cup. On the Griffin side, we have Anrich Alberts, who scored 5 tries for them in 2018. Standout player Yassir Hartzenberg, a product of Boys High and Western Province from 2009 to 2012, will have to stand up in the lock position. Jean Pretorius has 2 tries this year, and Jaywin Juries does all of the kicking for this side from the number 9 position. Will be crucial today, will Jaywin Juries. And as the Welwitschias make their way onto the Rustenburg Impala Park, it is my time to introduce alongside me in commentary Martin Mhlonga, formerly of Mpumalanga Pumas. Martin, this Namibian side has big dreams coming up later this year.
Paul, lovely to be here in Rustenburg, the home of Impalas. I must say they do have big dreams, as you've mentioned. They didn't start their season off that well, but there is still some time to fix those mistakes and work on their niggles. Plenty of World Cup experience, and I believe that today will be the perfect day to execute that knowledge. We have Chucky. You saw him in the Varsity Cup performing very well, leading the stats there in tries and carries and defense. Great tackles, one of the best defenders we had in the Varsity Cup. So I believe this will be great synergy in this team, and it's yet another opportunity for some dynamite rugby.
SuperSport Rugby Challenge continues to deliver just that, as this competition continues to grow in stature, and it gives opportunities to the likes of Namibia Welwitschias and the Zimbabwe Academy, who are unable to play this level of quality rugby back in the homelands. We're almost ready to get underway. It will be an interesting battle between 2 of the sides that had in the bottom 5 records of South African teams last year in terms of season percentage victories. Griffons played 15 first-class matches and won just 4 of them at a record of 26.7%, and Welwitschias had 1 victory from 8 games in the SuperSport Rugby Challenge, which racks up at a 12.5% ratio. However, Welwitschias did manage 1 victory last year, and that was against Falca. We are almost ready to get underway now, here in the blazing sunshine of the northwest. And we are underway. Clive and Lobser launched it. What a great chase that is from Welwitschias to begin the match, cleared by Juries. And that is Ludio Williams for Griffons. Juries sends it left this time. Griffons chancing their arm and running the ball early on, but they've danced along the touchline far too closely, and out into touch is Arthur Williams.
Griffons looking to work on continuity. Straight from receiving the ball, attacking, striking on the left. Might be that their game plan today is just to play some running rugby, and they see great opportunity against the Welwitschias.
Van der Westhuizen feeds the line out, and it is missed, taken up by Juries. Sends it out. Looks like Neo Mohapi might have been taking it to ground. It's moved through Anrach Alberts, trying to create something outside as Williams. Welwitschias all over that ball, and they've secured the turnover. Eugene Jaintjies plays to the left, and Russell van Wyk is making meters along the touchline. Jaintjies gets it to run Ludic. Continuity here. Jaintjies moves it again. It's chipped outside by Loubser. Multiple options to collect this, and what a take it is from Johannes Tromp, who will complete an excellent try for the side from Namibia.
Try scored by Johannes Tromp. Previously played for the Kings and the Pumas in his junior structures. But this excellent steal came from Justin Newman. Stuck on the ball. They had the penalty advantage. And why not take the risk with a kick? And it was well received by Johannes Tromp, who stepped inside to score his opening try for Welwitschias.
Cliven Loubser with what should be a simple kick, and it does go over, giving the Welwitschias an early 7 points to the lead.
Yeah, with the penalty advantage, you have all the room to play your risk, and that ball was well received by Johannes Tromp. Just did well. No one in front of him, just stepped in to defend that tackle and score the opening try for Welwitschias.
Back underway, courtesy of Juan Pretorius, linchpin of this Griffon side. Immediately back into the action is the try scorer Johannes Tromp, formerly of Eastern Province, who won a cap for the Kings as well. Johan Ludic. So many of these players, of course, have national caps for the Namibian side. Ludic, one of those, with 16 caps to his name.
Take him back.
Eugene Jaintjies launching it long, and this has been miscontrolled by Dominic Smith.
Backwards play on, it's still advantage.
An advantage is still being played to Welwitschias. They'll struggle to make use of this. Ludio Williams puts in an effective tackle for the side from the Free States. Wide it goes.
Forward pass, no advantage here.
And Russell van Wyk will not be able to thrive down the touchline. The players have not yet heard the whistle, but we will be heading back
Just a
for
knock
the
on.
advantage.
Cliven Loubser identified a one-man overlap on the far left-hand side. Saw the opportunity, just passing it right. But Russell van Wyk was in the loop to chase down the stretch.
Crouch! Bye! Sit!
Very experienced Namibian front row. Welwitschias have Desi Darius-Setti, who's been with Welwitschias since 2017. He has 9
Right,
caps.
just a slap, yeah?
Chucky van der
Just a slap, yeah,
Westhuizen
but support
at
your
hooker,
ball. Okay,
we've
thank you.
spoken of already, who was at the 2015 World Cup, and AJ de
sit.
Klerk, who has
Sit and steady,
24
okay.
Namibian caps as well. So Martin, they might be targeting the set piece with the front row like that.
That's correct, and Welwitschias, with that front row experience, applying light pressure on Neo Mohapi.
Crouch!
The Griffons, Lou said, not able to hold his bind.
Sit! Stay now, Popo.
That's a far better execution of the scrum, and Griffons are coming at Welwitschias right now. Desperate to get it out of Eugene Jaintjies. Somehow he does manage to get to ground, and the ball will come back on Welwitschias' side. Tronk fills in at halfback. Ruan Ludic continues to work hard in the opening minutes. Jaintjies. Blind it goes now. Ready to work is Christu van der Merwe. Late replacement into the starting lineup for Prince Rivaldo Gino Galsep. Making serious meters.
Backwards,
Pretty organized game they're playing. Eugene Jaintjies launches one over the top. This time it is well taken. This is Alistair Mamba Alistair Mumba starting the counter-attack, and they've got Griffons running on the outside with Neil Stannard. He gets it away to Ezric Alexander. Ezric Alexander won't be stopped, and the Griffons have scored their first try.
Alistair Mumba did very well to run towards Ezric Alexander. They must have identified Russell Stephen right out of position, got the two-man overlap. And look at that. Ezric Alexander with the pace, making easy money out of this try. With the opening try for the Griffons.
Thank you.
It's his third try for 2019. So Ezric Alexander is having a wonderful time. The player that caught that ball and began the counter-attack, Alistair Mumba, he was part of the Griffons Under-20 Cup Champions team last year, in which he scored 17 tries through the season. Unsuccessful with the conversion attempt, and after 7 minutes, it's 7 points to 5 to Welwitschias.
Mumba did very well to suck in those defense players, released it to Alexandria, who had it all in his court to score that try. I must say, Russell Stephen just caught out of position in defense, being forced to turn around and do the chase, but just not enough to stop Alexandria.
Clive and Lopesha. Very contestable kick he has launched, and that is well received.
It's a maul now.
Kevin Annandale with
To the
no
middle,
number
he's
on
fine.
his back. He was due to wear the number 5 jersey, but unfortunately a washing incident meant that the jersey shrunk, and as a result he's had to change. Now working it in there is Ludio Williams for Griffons. As they attempt to get some control on this match, Welwitschias are contesting at that ruck. They've come around the side. Dominique Smit. What a kick that is, raking it all the way towards the touchline, but apparently out on the full, and we are heading back to from whence it was kicked for the line out. Being taken quickly, and there's trouble on here. Welwitschias sharp to the chance, and Russell van Wyk was the one running down the touchline. Griffons caught sleeping just for a moment there, and is there a turnover potential at this ruck? It would appear so. Yes, there's a penalty awarded to Griffons.
De La Harp not coming in from the gate, straight from the side.
And that is not going to go out. There have been some avoidable errors early on in this match. And this is the fullback, Chris Aries, counter-attacking. Yanchis. Kachicheko. Now Clive and Lopser turns to the boot. That will not be going towards the touchline. Plenty of options for Dominic Smit. He launches the ball downfield unequivocally. Asks the Welwitschias to counter-attack from there. Lopser to Johannes Tromp. Tromp keeps it moving. Welwitschias keen to run. There to contest is Ludio Williams. Couldn't get his hands on the ball. Working the blind now. Lopser keeps it moving. The inside ball is a good one to Christo van der Merwe, and they're still working it. Justin Newman now goes to ground. Oh, the Griffons are in position for the turnover. Dominic Smit dominates that ruck.
Advantage.
Advantage being played to Griffons now for offside play. Anrich Alberts. The inside ball to Ludio Williams. Jaywin Juries. Oh, that is a powerful run.
Okay.
Neo Mohapi laying down the law.
Advantage over.
Advantage is over, and Yassir Hartzenberg keeps it moving to Gavin Annandale. On the outside is Ezric Alexander, and he's murdered another player. Alexander off the right boot to Jaywin Juries. Juries trying to get away. What a tackle from Kachicheko. And now the turnover as well. Johannes Tromp with a breathless play continues, and Tromp tries to find support. He fails to, and Levine Damons keeps it alive. Russell van Wyk takes it into the contact, approaching the halfway line. Clive and Lopser with the short ball.
Play on,
That is fallen loose. Play on is the call. Ludio Williams, can he capitalize? He pops it up to an opposition player, and AJ de Klerk.
You have it.
Is that a turnover ball? It is all happening here. A couple of minutes that'll blow your mind. Backwards is the call on that knock as well from Jaywin Juries, and now we're playing on to the outside to Dominic Smith, and Dominic Smith is going to score at the end of all that madness.
No.
This is a well-deserved try by the Griffons, making great opportunity of their spaces, playing that ball from coast to coast. You saw it from Alexandra using his space, going on the outside of Van Wyk with great pace, and I must say, Dominic Smith, a well-deserved try and a great finish by the Griffons. Paul, this is all about the sense of urgency. The sense of urgency of the Griffons is quite great compared to the Welwitschias, whereby it's more about when one player makes a great play, it's more of a watching of the play instead of support running and not defending on the pillars.
I can see where you're coming from, Martin. What I can say is I'm enjoying this rugby match so far. Welwitschias brought the heat early on and Griffons have come roaring back into it. This is Jaywin Juries to continue his point scoring this year. 6 penalties and 6 conversions. Cannoning off the post, but it still goes over from Jaywin Juries, and that makes it 8 conversions for 2019.
Great run and sucking in of the defender by Arthur William, releasing it to Dominic Smith. Justin Flair, all alone to score the try, flying over the try line.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. We have a game on our hands here. Both of these sides do love to score points. Unfortunately for Welwitschias, they have been too fond of conceding points. Right now, as they came into this match, their points difference was -120 to the -17 of Downtouch Griffons. Another high hanging kickoff, this time slightly too deep to be contestable. The tackle is completed by Johannes Tromp.
Advantage offside.
Now advantage to Griffons.
Number 7
who
white.
really are starting
Offside.
to find their straps in this match. Jaywin Juries works it to the left wing.
13.
Juries. Flat defensive line from Welwitschias, stopping Ludio Williams in his place. And they've turned the ball
Number
over,
7.
but we're playing
Offside, number
under
7.
an advantage. Courtesy of Griffin Colby, our referee today.
Offside.
Tomasao Forbes just caught offside.
On the offside. Okay. Yep.
That speaks again to the sense of urgency, Paul, just not taking the time to fall back where he needed to, and you caught offside. That implicates your defense from the get-go.
Well, pure chaos there. Griffin's not finding touch, not for the first time. And that pass out the back of the hand, irresponsible. Apparently no knock-ons involved in any of that play. That player is out in touch as he's touching the ball. And the flag is up. Flag is up.
Ball's out, guys.
Well, after a great start, these two sides need not to get carried away with themselves, Martin, and keep under control.
Yeah, Welwitschias needs to find their rhythm, especially from the set pieces. It's a bit of a scramble, playing a loose game.
I'm on the mark, open up.
And it's evident that Griffons
I'm on the middle.
catches them sleeping at the time.
You guys got to speed up this, please, okay?
And it comes for
Seconds, good
Welwitschias,
plan.
and it is taken down outstandingly by Muarua Kachicheko. Just one of the players born in Windhoek and who went to Windhoek High. So many Windhoek High and Windhoek Gym products here in the Welwitschias side. That is well taken on the touchline by Alistair Mamba. Keeps his feet and allows time for his teammates to get in position to support. Anach Alberts keeps it moving. Jaywin Juries heads to the left again. And finding some spaces, Juan Pretorius. Pretorius just has to get the pass right. And it should be tickets for Alistair Mamba. No, the cover defense is spectacular. Pretorius again. Yes, that is beautiful. And Jean Pretorius will get over the line for his 3rd try of the year.
Okay.
Paul Griffons are in on the continuity. John Pretorius with the support run to finish off that try. And I must say, the synergy between the backline players, especially Pretorius, Mumba, Hand Smith is quite great, and this is where the winning will come from the Griffons. Look at this. Pretorius being able to release it to Mumba. Mumba just taking a bit long to excel there, but what Pretorius did well is to run back to that ruck or loose play and released it to Jean Pretorius to score the try for Griffons.
May just have winded himself as he dived onto that ball. Seems to be all healed up now, Jean Pretorius, and this is Jaywin Juries for the extra 2. Juries does not bring the post into play this time around. It's straight through, and it's 19 points to 7, the Griffons lead.
A lot of loose play, a lot of scrappy play, but Pretorius did well and to step left, sucking that defender, opened that gap wide, and Pretorius to finish off the try.
Things have certainly taken a swing in this match. Welwitschias opened the scoring with a 7-pointer. Since then, 19 unanswered. Must be shaken up by that. Cliven Lopeser restarts, and Ludio Williams, who's already been deeply involved, is underneath the ball. Juries, Pretorius, Ezric Alexander looking for options on the outside.
You missed it now, Nine, you missed it.
Jaywin Juries. Griffons running it from their own 22-meter line. They seem to be marked up by the Welwitschias on the outside. Marupeng takes it in. Keeping working it to the left through Juries and Duan Pretorius. And that is deadly stuff from Alistair Mumba. Mumba chips it through, and Dominic Smith, the call is off the legs.
Backwards, play on backwards.
And backwards is the call on that one. Cliven Lopeser with a hopeful pass which goes straight to a Griffons player. And Duan Pretorius is there in support. Mumba. He sends it out to Ludio Williams. Continues to crash it up for his Griffons team. That is a fine pass from Juries, keeping things moving to the outside. Stannard moves it wider, and now into the line is Ezric Alexander. The inside ball looks spectacular. Jean Pretorius keeps it alive, but Neil Stannard will not be able to dot down for the try.
Well, we're just taking their time to fall back on defense and stand in position. Griffons using all that opportunity to strike back, and I must say, well, we're just also not securing the ball. They have to work on that because they keep on throwing the ball back into the Griffons players, and at the critical moments right in front of the try line. So they need to brush up on that.
Let's go, let's set up, please.
Absolutely do. Not hard to tell why they have the negative 120 points difference coming into this game,
from you guys,
when they're
and then second
defending like that.
Let's go, lift them off. Hey, Chuck.
It'll be a long day, Paul, if they don't brush up on that. Still 60 minutes to go of this game.
And you can tell us what you thought of the scrum battle after this next one packs down. See what progress the boys have made. Griffons looked like they were moving.
Crouch! Bye. Sit! Steady now, steady purple.
In it comes, shot to the back by Griffons, who hold a steady scrum, and Juries out to Duan Pretorius. Pretorius to the line, is well handled. Jaywin Juries, this time short to Hartzenberg. Ludio Williams trying to get on the outside of his man.
You're off now, you're off white, leave it!
And Alberts. Welwitschias called off the ball. Jaywin Juries moves it blind, and through the hands, it's delicious from Smith. Off to Alistair Mumba, the try machine.
Thumb off. Team out, check. You on, possible knock on. Okay.
There might be concern about the try.
And what might that be? Maybe that second last pass might have been thought for.
Just checking for a possible knock on in the Yep.
Well, I thought I saw something at the scrum, which was on the ruck, which was on the right-hand side of the field.
You guys off.
Before all of those wonderful hands took place, let's have a look at the replay.
If they clean you off the ball.
No, I'm not talking about.
Okay. I'll check for you.
This may be it.
think about that, Martin?
The angle not too good. Let's look at the next angle.
This is Duan Pretorius. 58 points in the Currie Cup First Division last year. Very crucial player to their side. And here's where the knock-on comes in my eyes.
Kevin Annandale doesn't seem to have touched it.
Yes, Johan.
There was a knock-on by the Griffons players.
Okay.
The player wanted to pick the ball up
Okay.
about on the other side of the field. So no try,
Okay.
knock-on.
Okay, just give me a accurate mark, please, Johan. Okay.
Okay.
No try.
Well, Martin,
Knock on.
knock-on called. Your opinion on that one?
Yeah, it was a knock-on, but it didn't come
Keep
from
going
Gavin
straight in
Annandale
line
that
where
was
you are
trying to
now.
pick up the ball. The knock-on came from Dwayne
So
Pretorius,
right
who
there.
landed the
Stop.
ball, but also had his hand in
Knock-on.
it while on the floor.
And there he is
Knock on in the rack.
on screen now, just as he took that ball to the line. In spite of all of that, Martin, it's looking pretty good for the Griffons, in spite of going 7-0 behind at first.
This is sub here, guys.
Griffons looking like a warm-up match here, but I must mention, Paul, it's very important to mention that on Welwitschias this is a very different dynamic, whereby most of the players get full-time jobs, right? So it's more like a club rugby structure that they come and play in such
Who's off?
intensity,
Time off.
whereby the Griffons have a factory and they're able to focus on rugby.
6.
And to think that this team with full-time people with full-time jobs is a team that is
Come on,
preparing
let's
to
go.
go to the Rugby World Cup. These
go.
guys who are full-time employed are going to be the players that represent Namibia at the World Cup, some of them, and there will be others that come into the squad.
Very true, Paul. And you have to see that in Namibia, there's only 1,000 registered rugby players compared to South Africa, who has like even 1,000 more than that.
Infinite, almost. One of the most in the world, but not the most in the world still. Yes, I believe so.
Bye. Sit.
Of course, they are
Steady.
Zimbabwe Academy in Zimbabwe have many more active players than they do as well, which will be deeply
Guys,
troubling
just
to
relax.
Welwitschias as they
Come
go
on,
into
steady.
future
Come on, steady.
World Cup
Let's go.
qualifying
Sit again.
scenarios.
Very true, Paul. And you can see the intensity that the Zimbabwe Academy is picking up. Every game getting better and better. This end of this SuperSport Rugby Challenge might not be that the way they began, and they really are prepared to go the full length.
Get yourself square.
Unfortunate situation is that Zimbabwe Academy are in the south section and Namibia in the north section. That would have been an absolute screamer of a match.
Crouch. Bye. Sit. Steady now, steady, purple.
Steady is the call from Griffin Colby. Oh, and free kick comes.
Early shove there from Neo Mohape. Very solid in the scrums, just went into early there.
Kick is towards touch and safely into touch. Now, Martin, does a scrum that is so dominant in the way that Griffons were when they got the penalty conceded against them, are you dismayed by that, or are you more inspired by the fact that you're just walking over this Namibia scrum?
No, more inspired. He talks about preparation now, Paul. And now if you think about the full-time job, how many of them actually get time to get together? You know, whereby it's quite different on the Griffin side. So, yeah, not the same dynamics, but still they are competing in a very high-class structure.
That was Hartzenberg, the Paul Boys High product. Griffins completely dominating possession ever since they took control of this match following Welwitschias' opening salvo of a 7-pointer.
Perfect opportunity to compete right there. They did nothing. They could have gotten the turnover.
And Griffins, as a result, are allowed to continue. Dominic Smith steps into the halfback position. Duan Pretorius turns to the boot, but it is not chased, that grubber, giving plenty of time for Chris Aris to clear his lines, and he finds a safe touch.
Big boot by Chris Aris, but Paul, it is important that they start competing on the loose plays, which I see is the perfect opportunity for them to get the turnover and start playing their set pieces. The urgency from Welwitschias is just a bit worrying, and I hope that the coach gets time to speak and address it.
Another part of defense, of course, Martin, is making sure that your opposition don't get the ball. That's the best way to defend your line, and Welwitschias don't. Well, since they had a good start, they haven't spent enough time with the ball in hand.
On the far out.
You can see Chucky or Lou on Vestas and making the attempt, he's the one that you see mostly in the loose players. But I think that experience comes from Varsity Cup, where they knew that the ball is won from the front, and that's why he's so active and playing. And his fitness is way up. You can just see a bit of disconnect between how conditioned and how ready he is compared to some of his teammates. But hopefully they will be able to turn it around.
Man injured there was Rowan Ludik, measures in at 2.08 meters. Alberts feeds. Tap back onto Griffin's side. Another call of backwards, and Jaywin Juries. He looked like he threw a cracker, but it's been a shocker. AJ de Klerk! He just scored a classic.
Who was that bus? Paula did say the game is won from the front, and AJ de Klerk was listening to me. The pace coming out from this man. 28-year-old. The call was backwards. There was no need to pass the ball that way. He had an opportune time to turn around and pass it. Get out of my way. It's my try. Great try by AJ de Klerk.
Oh, I just absolutely love the launch. AJ de Klerk, just as he was supposed to jump into the air, but it turned out to be more of a dive over the ground. And AJ de Klerk, who's been with Welwitschias since 2015, scores an absolute screamer of a try. Oh, I loved it.
Paul, this is where Griffons can become their own enemy. They have to stick to basics, have to stick to clean play. And I must say, Joanne Juries had enough time to turn around and pass a clean ball. No need for that stunt, and it gave opportunity to AJ to look like bolts in that try.
Cliven Loebser seeking to add the extra 2. That is a superb kick, and it makes it a 5-point match. And we're going to take one last look. Look at the outstretched arm of AJ de Klerk. He had one look and he never thought again. There, Bomfa, out of the way, buddy. Dominic Smit goes elsewhere. AJ Smit goes over the line.
Dominic Smith just needed to drop his shoulder more and go straight for the legs. Could have tried stopping him, but there was no way for AJ.
AJ de Klerk, congratulations, we're back underway. And it's Johannes Tromp. And it looks very impressive in the first half. Effective winger he is. What's the plan here from Welwitschias? Going to crash it up with their first opportunity. They do have clearance kickers in position behind this ruck. Eugene Yanchis checking out his options, and he turns to the boot himself. Underneath this is Juan Pretorius, and that did not look good at all. Not at all.
Johannes Tromp just should have held himself a bit back there. Can't compete. A player in the air could have turned out very ugly.
Player safety a priority, and that's why seeing Juan Pretorius down like that is worrying. Let's see just how bad it was, the landing. Took to the skies, did not pull out there Johannes Tromp, and the landing was not too bad.
I think Johannes can argue that I was trying to catch him.
Yeah, no, certainly nothing foul about that play. Johannes Tromp was in a position to get underneath the ball. As he looked up, there was a rising Juan Pretorius. As a result, Anrach Alberts will have a feed to the line-out just outside the Welwitschias 22. Up it goes. That's a superb take under pressure, and they will set a rolling wall. At the back is Anrach Alberts, and motivating with Jaywin Juries. Have Griffons got control of this? Yes, they're the ballers, but they're going sideways. And they must corkscrew this either to the left or work it back around the right, and back around the right is the way they go. Naturally, there are bodies to trip over there. Juan Pretorius to the line, and this time he holds on to the ball. And he's thrown out a pop pass of interesting proportions, driven into touch by Desiderius Setti.
I think the coach needs to address Welwitschias' tackling tactics. Not doing great with the first man tackles, and they put themselves in an awkward position where they have to turn around defense, or fold over defense rather. Just not the best tactics to use against the Griffons, who has a striking attack.
Guys, How many numbers are you? 4. Okay, set the line up quicker, please. Yep.
Louis van der Westhuizen to feed the line out. He had his problems in the Varsity Cup this year. That line out is perfect.
No!
Now working back on the angle, Lanieve Damons, just 25 years old, and he's already been to a World Cup. One of the prospects of this Welwitschias side. The whistle had gone.
Number 10.
If
Number
not,
10
Neil
offside.
Stannard might have been in.
Yep.
Saved by the whistle.
Yeah, let's go. It's out of play.
Oh, there's a 5-point match now. In a game that looked like it was getting away from the Welwitschias as the minutes rolled by after they scored the opening 7-pointer. Griffons were scoring tries for fun. We have an injury on the field right now. It really looks quite serious. That's Duan Pretorius on your screen, linchpin of this Griffons side. And there's something that he's complaining about. This does appear to be quite a serious injury. Let's hope that the player concerned is not too badly hurt. Well, the best of medical care being delivered in the dead ball area. This is not, oh no, it's a very, very desperate situation. I think it might be Chris Aris who's down.
He's injured, he's broken his ankle, he can't come now.
It's tough, and we really do hope
he can't come now, he's broken his ankle.
He can recover from that as quick. And you heard that on from the referee. I think that's a broken ankle that we have there, Martin.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Quite enough for Welwitschias as they are preparing for the World Cup. That could have been one of their hopefuls.
Thanks.
That's at least 6 months of work on that ankle.
The game of rugby can be cruel sometimes. It certainly can. But there are his teammates taking on some water. And they are the players that are going to have to pick up the slack here, as Chris Aris will not be returning to the field. You'll see Ruan Ludik there, noticeably taller than everybody else in the team. 2.08 meters he measures in at. Last year in South Africa, the tallest player in the country was 2.09 meters. And we're going to take a quick look at the tries that have been scored today. But let me tell you an interesting stat first. The Griffons last year had the heaviest player in the country in Mhleli Dlamini at 135, the lightest in Sherwin Cupido at 60 kilograms, and the shortest with Sherwin Cupido at 1.65 meters. In a strange anomaly of statistics. And we are now looking at the tries. It all started with Cliven Loubser kicking to the outside.
Opportunity was thrown by Johannes Strom, did very well to change the angle, step inside and score that try.
And the Griffons were angered by that. They struck back next. And the pace of Ezric Alexander. Too much for the Welwitschias defense. Far too much for it, in fact.
He's been doing very well. The pace that he has is quite great. And Pretorius set up this next try that was scored by John Pretorius as well. And that came from Dwayne Pretorius. But I must say Alexander has been quite the stalwart here. Very active, beating the men on the outside, releasing it back to Dwayne Pretorius, and Jean Pretorius scoring that try for the Griffons.
And then that outrageous pass from Jay Juries off to AJ de Klerk from Eugene Yates. Yes, Jay Juries, the Griffon scrum half, passing into AJ de Klerk, the Welwitschias prop, who charged over the line for the try. 24 Namibian caps to his name, the big man in the number 3 jersey. And off the field comes Chris Aries. Good luck to you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it seems like that must have happened when they were all diving for the ball, and one of the Griffons players landed on his ankle. Quite unfortunate.
Well, we won't be showing you the images of how that went down. It really is, it's not great the way things have happened.
Offside.
Good luck to you, sir, Chris Aries. Good luck to you. And we are ready to get back underway. The clock is just before the 28-minute mark, and let's hope that these Welwitschias players are not affected by their teammate suffering that injury. Safe touch found.
Purple, 4, purple. Number 4, sub.
And we have a line out. Chucky van der Westhuizen will feed. Have a sub on the Griffons side of things. After all that, it's Tato Mavundla coming on.
Let's go.
Yasir Hartenberg, SA Schools in 2006, also played SA Under 19 and SA Under 20. Makes his way from the field, rolling subs in the SuperSport Rugby Challenge, of course, Martin.
You want to rest such a unit, put him back on the last 20 minutes and let him break and bash into those try lines.
Contest at the 4 ball. Louis van der Westhuizen's line-out throwing comes under question once more. It will be a scrum to Griffons.
Not finding the man and Chucky in the line-out throw. Just with a festival of knocks. First one coming through from AJ de Klerk on Welwitschias.
Update on the injury. Chris Aries has a dislocated ankle and possible fracture as well. For all of you medical students out there.
Sit!
And now Griffin's scrum is being held by Welwitschias. Jaywin Juries clears it from the base. Outside pass from Neil Stanout is very well timed, and Alistair Mumba's cutting back on the inside. Mumba dragged down in a crucial final tackle by Prince Rivaldo Gino Galseb.
Yeah, the ball was out already.
Mumba slithering through Welwitschias' defense. Quite the step on him. Changes the angle as well.
Exposed, holding on.
Running straight to the try line. He had the opportunity to release the ball to the man that just came off the bench, Tato Mavundla. Just held on it a bit too long.
Looking very elusive, isn't he, Mumba? You can see how he got so many tries. 17 of them in the under-20 Currie Cup competition.
Like a black mamba, they say. Look at that. He could have just released the ball either to Pretorius or Mavundla. Could have been a try opportunity. But I guess also the best thing to do in such a situation is go to ground as you don't see or identify support close to you.
Louis van der Westhuizen feeds the line out uncontested. It is dragged down off the tops by the Neve Damons. Oh, they're still trying to work this as a maul. No, it is down. And Yanchis eventually clears. It's back to Galseb. Rushing Griffins defenders, causing serious troubles for Welwitschias. Justin Newman does get it to ground eventually. And that is a hefty clearance. Not aimed for touch. What a fine chase this is from Johannes Tromp. He's the only one there to put pressure. Dominic Smit thinks he sees something to run into. And Van der Westhuizen is there to meet him. Just outside the 22-meter line of the Griffons. Duan Pretorius. Here's Ludio Williams, so active in the opening minutes of the match.
Second backwards!
Oh, backwards is the call. Duan Pretorius had to improvise. He gets it off to Ezric Alexander, who puts boot to ball, but does not gain that much ground at all. Welwitschias will have a very attacking lineout. Just 8 minutes left to go in this half, which has been disrupted by that long break for the injury. And it's just a 5-point match between these two sides. And one would feel that the Griffons will be disappointed by that.
Well, Welwitschias could have had the upper hand here. Just not contesting the lineouts. He's not using the height advantage. And look at that. Visits to the opponent's 22. 7 times by the Griffons, and they have happened to do some magic in the 22, scoring 3 tries. Well, Welwitschias about to set up the rolling maul.
The lineout is looking extremely sharp. All the players catching it at the very peak of their jump. Kachiceko on that occasion, the receiver. Griffons all around this player. Everybody's on side, it would appear.
Advantage collapsing.
And the collapse is the call on the part of the Griffons. A penalty advantage to Welwitschias. Will they tap this, though? The lineout's looking really good, Martin.
Paul, he managed to get you with that dummy as well.
He did.
The decision to take would be a scrum. The scrums have been competing very well as well. Or kick it out, take the line out, use a height advantage and get that maul going again. 5 meters from the try line. A lot of strength in AJ de Klerk and Desiderius Seti. So make use of all that strength and score that try.
Desiderius, one of the more beautiful names you'll hear in the SuperSport Rugby Challenge. Louis van der Westhuizen feeds again. Can they set the rolling maul? The receiver has gone to ground under a collapse, an intentional one and an illegal one from Griffons.
That's one.
Chucky van der Westhuizen at the back of this rolling maul. Can they get it rolling forward? Van der Westhuizen takes it into his own hands, but there are players underneath him on the side of Griffons. They should be able to hold this one up off the ground. We're heading back for another penalty. And yes, Griffin Colby wants the chat.
Gotta be careful now, okay? Now, let's go. Second collapse number 1. Let's go, penalty here. Yep. Collapsing number 1.
Warning coming through from Griffin
the
Colby.
sack was late, it's collapsing. It's a late sack, collapsing.
And for a sack, the man has to sack the line out as soon as he touches the ground, just taking a bit more time. And that was identified by Griffin Colby, giving the warning. And the Griffins wants to avoid doing that in the next one.
Let's go.
Or must be more efficient.
20. Let's go.
Just some running repairs for the towering presence of Ruan Ludik.
Oh yeah, that sack was way too late.
In spite of his
There's always numbers adjusted.
intense height,
it's a 6-man.
Ruan Ludik has not been the preferred target for Chucky van der Westhuizen in the lineouts. Let's see which way they go now. Again going up is Kachi Cheko.
Sack is good.
The sack is good this time, and can Welwitschias recover from this and set them all? No, they've been forced out of it. A ruck now. And the pods of forwards in position to carry forward. Galseb on that occasion, the receiver. Janchis. It's off to Chucky van der Westhuizen. We've got numbers at depth on the outside, should they choose to go that way. Eugene Janchis looking into the ruck now. Skipped past Ludik. And Welwitschias are driven backwards by Griffin's defense. Janchis to the left now. And that one is bounced just before Daryl De La Harp, the captain of Welwitschias, was able to catch, and Griffins get away with it.
Quite a dangerous slip of the pass there. But De La Harp, if Alexander got his hands on that, he was gone. Immense pace on that man's boots. Well, Witches just seem to be a bit flat in receiving that ball. They just need to run from a further angle to get the effective mauls going, or effective pouncers going from the pods. And the support is also not great. You saw the one taking in by Chucky van der Westhuizen was all alone.
Van der Westhuizen feeds again, and this time it is Ruan Ludik rising to receive. Keeping it tight, Welwitschias. Into the contact is Daryl De La Harp.
12 purple offside.
Now they move it wider. Duan Pretorius, sorry, that's Cliven Lopeser. Janchis. This is Peter Steenkamp.
Advantage for offside.
Chucky van der Westhuizen turns it back to Daryl De La Harp. Eugene Janchis. Chucky van der Westhuizen again under an advantage. Perceptive stuff though from Ezric Alexander. Two dangerous wingers on this Griffin side.
Arthur Williams was offside from the Griffins, as well as Dwayne Pretorius. Like I said, Griffins might be their own enemy. They just need to work on their timing on that rushing defense.
Both.
Posts is the choice. Griffin Colby points in that direction, and we are going to see exactly how the infringement came. Offsides from the Griffins defense in multiple positions. And Ezric Alexander was denied. And this is Cliven Lopeser seeking to cut the difference down to just 2 points. A man who played for Eastern Province and the Sharks. Lobser, that is a clean hit. Straight over, and we have a 2-point match with less than 2 minutes to play in the first half.
Griffons discipline letting them down, allowing Welwitschias to catch up. The decision making from the Welwitschias is getting a bit better, especially in the lineouts, but they just need to be more effective on the set pieces and get clean ball out.
Duan Pretorius with the kickoff. There was some clear obstruction by Welwitschias players, but breaking away is Johannes Tromp, player who opened the scoring in this match. Giantjes gets it away, and Peter Steenkamp, who's looked great in the 10 position since coming on as a rolling sub, continues to spread the ball to Welwitschias wingers. And they have not spread the ball to the wings enough. It's been spread to the wings 10 times by Griffons and just the 3 by Welwitschias. A maul is called, and if they do not get it out, the scrum will go to Griffons, and that's precisely what takes place. One last chance in this half.
Alexander did very well to hold on Van Wyk, who tried bashing through him, did very well to tackle him on the ball and keep him up to secure that scrum for the Griffons.
Just so crucial for Welwitschias to hold the scoreline as it is before they go to the halftime break. They are a side known for conceding points in big ways. Last year they conceded 10 tries against 3 separate sides. Puma scored 14 tries against them, Lions 13 and Bulls 11. So defense is certainly something that they need to be working on.
Fine. Sit. Lock up game.
Jaywin Juries feeds the scrum, and it's been a hot contest at scrum time. Duan Pretorius. Oh, the inside ball looked like it was going back into the Williams' hands, but Stannard keeps it moving to the outside. Mumba, even when the whistle has gone, he's got tango steps. Martin, sum that one up for us.
Well, we're just not getting that ball out. They started off the half with a try, just didn't keep up the consistency and allowed the Griffons to make use of all that opportunity. I must say it's all thanks to these men that play with such high intensity with ball in hand, and the Welwitschias need to just set up on their set pieces, and also when playing ball in hand, go back to the ground, and the half ends on 19-17 for the Griffons.
Demolishing the opposition. The rest is history.
Can you believe it?
This is brilliant play. Totally demolishing the opposition. The rest is history.
These are the scenes from Rustenburg. What a wonderful city in the northwest of this country. Just 2 hours drive from Johannesburg, where Griffons lead Welwitschias by 3 tries to 2. We're almost ready to get back underway. You saw that advertisement on your field for DSTV Now. It will make your life convenient. It is already included in your DSTV package. Download DSTV Now onto your phone. Up goes the kick from Duan Pretorius. So crucial to the Griffons in the first half. Sent back by Welwitschias now to the impressive Peter Steenkamp. 58 points for him in 2018 for Welwitschias. And he does look a solid option in the 10 jersey. He's wearing the 20 now, of course. Sent back by Dominic Smits. Almost nobody there to cover that. To really work hard to get in position. And the kicks are heading straight down the field right now. Duan Pretorius, he looks intent on changing that. He's stepped out of his 22-meter line. That won't be going towards the touchline though. Peter Steenkamp again. 6 Namibian caps to his name. He launches another aimless kick towards the Griffons' defensive line, and Ezric Alexander, plenty of time. He turns to his left boot and he launches the kick upfield. Altitude helping these kicks carry further, and running it back for Welwitschias is Johannes Tromp, and he's dangerous. Tromp is backing the bounce. Oh! Just off the fingertips. Enterprising stuff.
Some individual brilliance coming in from Johannes Tromp. That could have been one magnificent try, rather, with a kick and chase following through. Oh, just not getting his fingers on that. I must say, Paul, Welwitschias struggled in the first half to get a single phase or a single set piece where they can play more than 5 phases. And I really hope that at halftime they got the opportunity to regroup and regather and say, listen, this is our execution plan and we have to work better on getting the set pieces clean out. So I really am hopeful for this half for the Welwitschias.
Coach! Bye! Sit!
Martin, this has been a to and fro battle in the scrum. It looked like Namibia would be coming in strong with such an experienced front row, but it's been Griffons that have looked like they're on the front foot, although they haven't got much reward for it.
Your Honor, I've expected the Welwitschias to be running away with the scrums, but it's been quite even with each team winning their own scrums. So hopefully there'll be a greater contest in this half.
Bye!
Both teams quite capable.
Stay on.
Stable enough from Griffons, but Welwitschias look like they're growing into that battle there up front. The lineouts have been no problem for Welwitschias. Louis van der
Inside.
Westhuizen has been locating multiple jumpers. Another kick downfield, this from Duan Pretorius. Not very well fielded by Peter Steenkamp. And now under pressure with a poor pass, and Cliven Loopser is the player in possession. Oh, that almost knocked on by Duan Pretorius. And he's going to run it this time. Over the ball, Desiderius Setti. And that kick comes from Dominic Smit. Smit seen some space behind the Welwitschias line, and that is a superb kick, driving the Namibians backwards.
Dominic Juris identified opportunity right behind the defense line of the Welwitschias, and he knows that he can trust the speed of Alexander to chase up that ball.
That line out finds the jumper once
Use
more.
it.
Kachecheko. Born in Windhoek and attended Windhoek High, the number 5 for Welwitschias,
No.
who work it close to the rack now. Aggressively so,
Outside.
as evidenced by
Use
Chucky van der
use it.
Westhuizen. Eugene Janchis launches the ball towards the touchline. It will bounce favorably for Ezric Alexander, who will always consider the counter-attack, it appears. And he's run into his...
Into me.
Oh no, into the referee, Griffin Colby. So it will be a scrum to Griffons. Tentative start to the second half. A lot of kicking, Martin, and now we're going to have yet another scrum. You think both of these sides are a bit nervous? They're targeting this match for a victory?
I might think so. You'll get that in the side of Griffons and continuity. They thought that, listen, Welwitschias have been struggling. Will come in and put on the points, use the back line, and you see that decision evidently coming from Duane Pretorius,
Number 1.
striking it forward and then releasing it to the wings with the great speed lying in Alistair Mumba and Ezric Alexander. And then Welwitschias also surprising themselves rather, with being able to play towards or playing to the advantage of the Griffons' mistakes. So I just think on both sides, Welwitschias need to work on the defense lines, be on the right time,
Good to go.
work on positioning as well, and the urgency when it comes to defense and defending the fringes. And then when it comes to the Griffons, to work on
Time back on. Let's go.
discipline rather, which may be the enemy in this game.
Time's off still.
It may just be, and it tends to be, in the SuperSport Rugby Challenge, especially defensively. As we spoke about in the first half, 10 tries plus scored against them 3 times last season. And the magic spray being applied to Duan Pretorius,
Time on.
top point scorer for this side.
Set up. Let's go.
Not just this year, but last as well. Javon Juries has been taking on the kicking duty so far in the SuperSport Rugby Challenge. But Duan Pretorius is very much the linchpin in open play in the 10 jersey. A sizable number 10 as well, as we prepare to have another edition of the scrum battle, which continues very evenly contested between these two teams.
Crouch. Bye. Sit. Welcome down. Fire.
Another fierce scrum battle, and it's picked up off the base by Jean Pretorius. but the mistake comes and we'll have another scrum, this time to the opposition from Namibia.
Joan Juris just knocking that ball. I believe saw the opportunity in the one-man overlap on the right-hand side. Just wanted to catch it quickly and release it. Not getting his hands on that.
Let's get it the same height, okay? Same height, okay?
Stark contrast to the start of the first half, in which both teams were very accurate and we saw tries early on. In this second half, they have come out here with an idea of protectionism on their mind, perhaps. Just 2 points between them.
Bye. Sit.
Quite an even contest. Paul, you have mentioned each team has won their own scrums.
And then you get one like that where Griffons look completely dominant, but it has not been consistent as such. Peter Steenkamp takes it to the line. Wide it goes from Daryl De La Harp, their captain, and space on the outside for Welwitschias, Justin Newman. Eugene Janchis. Dummy and go is from Prince Rivaldo Gino Gauseb. Had Bulls youth experience. Chucky van der Westhuizen, hero of Pucka, carries it forward. Vian Conradi on the bench as well for this Welwitschias side. He should make an impact when he comes on. That is a tasty grabber, almost staying in field. Dominic Smith rolling the dice on that occasion.
Johannes Trump is quite the busy fella. Making an attempt and trying to get the ball back in. But I must say, Welwitschias just not don't have a lot of pace compared to the Griffons with the two pistols on the wingers. But this man, Johannes Trump, putting in a lot of work for the Welwitschias.
Guys, let's maintain the gap, please, okay? Maintain the gap.
It's looking very good, Johannes Trump. Very sizable as well, strong looking wing. Johan Kreiling's onto the field for Welwitschias. Front of the line out, contested ball is Maruping.
They went back, okay? They went back, relax.
Desperately jumping up to receive that 2 ball. Griffin Colby taking control of the situation.
Right.
Well, that was a really interesting line out from Griffons. Well, Welwitschias certainly looking the better team in the line out front on the back of that evidence. And what an opportunity this represents.
Well, out of the 12 lineouts, Welwitschias have had 10 of that, and Chucky's accuracy has been quite good today.
Make contact, Ripper. Make contact.
Just need to see a bit more of Rowan Ludik being utilized.
You might just get your wish, Martin. There he goes, the 2 meters, 0.08 lock. Rising up, and Welwitschias take it at the front of the line out. This is a well-set rolling maul, if they can direct it in the right direction. Chucky van der Westhuizen now gets the support of Johannes Tromp. They're corkscrewing around the side, and over the line go Welwitschias.
Welwitschias come alive right here at Impala Stadium. Chucky, the try-scoring machine in the Vosti Cup, did very well in joining that rolling maul. Just not getting it going. And it was joined in by Johannes Tromp and Justin Newman. Got into that loose rolling maul and got the second shove. Chucky van der Westhuizen scoring his try for Welwitschias.
A lot of white on the side of the Griffons jerseys, which makes it quite confusing inside of that driving maul situation. And Chucky van der Westhuizen emerging through the bodies there, grabbing himself a try, which takes the lead to 3 points for Welwitschias before the kick. And we're almost 10 minutes into the second half. It's turning into a really fascinating contest between two sides which will be desperate for points.
Well, we're just doing very well into taking control back into their own hands, playing their own game, not trying to keep up with the Griffons' tempo in terms of trying to play their way of style. But I must say, just what they did right now was quite good. They used Ruan Ludik, got the ball out and get the rolling maul going, and with Shaki finishing off with a great try.
The kick is up. And the assistant referees watch it sail over the bar. Cliven Loser adds an extra 2 to an excellent try from Welwitschias. They set this well. Look at how they get out of the way of the player who's on the floor, walking away from that Griffons player, and now they have the freedom of the park to drive. And Chucky van der Westhuizen in perfect position gets it down. We're back underway. And receiving it is Clive and Loubser, who seeks touch.
Clive and Loubser doing very well in getting the distance in that kick. We're back on the halfway line. Like I said, I'd like to see Welwitschias utilizing Ruin Ludik, especially in contesting. He has the height. Instead of picking up, he should be one jumping in defense rather.
Up they go. Ludik that time not really being lifted that much by supporting players, and Griffons take it. The line-out ball off the top. Williams into contact that time. Here's Pretorius. Duane Pretorius takes it to the line for the first time today. And here is the impressive Ludo Williams, who has not shown up in the second half before that carry. What a hit. Tato Mavundla heading sideways. Oh, the inside ball is a dream. Neil Stannard, he's got one to beat. And Stannard with the inside ball to Ludio Williams. Williams will fight his way through tackles. Griffons are well positioned here. Jury sends it left. Oh, and it's a howler. Oh man, if that ball had stayed in field, Martin, that was 100% a try. Johannes Tromp was absolutely unchallenged by any Griffons players. Well, unfortunate for Trump.
Just in disbelief at how they could have blundered their try. Took on the defense, sucked them up. Juries released the ball to Stander. And that's where the sloppy play came in, and just not getting a clean ball by Juries. But what a line ran by Neil Stander. Welwitschias are struggling to defend on the fringes, and you saw that Julius just exposed that. No one on the fringes, just popped it back inside. No one in front of him.
Innovative stuff from Griffons. Welwitschias, on the other hand, struggling to keep this under control. Try scorer AJ de Klerk has to work hard to get it down. It's an indecision from Clive and Loubser, but he does turn it into something good. Peter Steenkamp getting caught behind the line. The Griffons defense is swarming, and they get the turnover. Jean Pretorius picks it up. Quick ball needed. Ludio Williams moving forward again. Attempted steal by Chucky van der Westhuizen. No good. Jaywin Jury's hospital pass. That was not out of any textbook that's ever been written in rugby. Chucky van der Westhuizen into the contact, and now Ruan Ludik. Well, Welwitschias looking to run this from the depths of deepness, and Levine Damons gets it out to Johannes Tromp, and Johannes Tromp kicks it with his left boot once more, and it goes into touch.
Not the best decision making by the Welwitschias. Starting from Delaharp, he had the ball, could have made the decision just to run a couple of meters forward and secure it, but rather hindered running with the ball, and then that allowed the Griffons to swarm over him and get that turnover.
Another line-out challenge for Griffons now. It's Anrich Alberts. 5 tries in 2018. He struggled to find his jumpers. Last time it was a bullet, and it's a bullet again to the front, and Marupeng
Play on.
unable to secure the ball. Play on is the call, no knock-ons, and Griffons will somehow get this ball back. Jaywin Juries, Williams, Duane Pretorius. Pretorius beats the first. Duane Pretorius, he gets it away to Ludio Williams, and that's off to Neil Stannard. Martin, tell me what you think.
It's quite a bit of sloppy play. I think we'll just have to get the view from the TMO.
Try. I just want to check if I can get clear grounding, please.
Jan Greuf will be called into action now. Griffin Colby wants to find out if this ball was dotted down over the line. Here's Duane Pretorius holding it up well, beating the defender, the inside ball. And there was a touch more rugby played before we got over here. Here's the telling moment.
Paula, unless my eyes are deceiving me, but that is a knock.
Martin. Ooh. I'm on your side in a way. This is why the TMOs are the
Griffin?
professionals.
Yes, you want?
You can stay with your on-field decision of a
Thank you.
try.
Try.
How do you feel about that one, Martin? It was very close, but it did look like he had control, got the ball down.
Just seemed as if the ball might have left his hand first before the pressure on the shot down came. But yeah, we have expertise in the TMOs, and their decision stays.
Jan Greff has called it a try, and right now we are level 24 points apiece with the kick to come. And back on kicking duties now is Jaywin Juries. Juries puts it up, he puts it over, and the try goes to Neil Stannard.
Dwayne Pretorius has been quite the active player, running those elusive angles. And then that try coming through for Neil Stannard.
Been hard at work all day. Neil Stannard, the outside centre for the side from Free State. And Griffons have reclaimed their lead, but it remains a 2-point game. Peter Steenkamp, 58 points in 2018 with the kickoff for Welwitschias. This man, he glides across a rugby field.
Rock already formed, you can't do that. Rock formed.
Even just in that little phase as he went to ground, just pirouetting at all times. A penalty against Welwitschias, in particular, Moarua Kachicheko.
Mumba slithering like a snake, just not getting that step in.
Bring a guy on.
Just contesting on the floor there. Peter Steenkamp.
Time off. 9. Bring him on, please. Yep.
4 tries for the Griffons, 3 for Welwitschias, who have certainly been much improved here in this match. After the struggles of last year, they won just the 1 game and finished off with an unhealthy points difference of negative 313. They're looking to rectify that this year. AJ de Klerk carries it up. Oh, that is just been fumbled. The Griffons players, they've cost themselves with ill discipline on the reserve scrum off.
He clearly heard the whistle and he went over the tackle. That's a penalty against him.
I did say that their discipline will be their worst enemy in this game. Just no need to continue with that tackle after the whistle. They already won the ball over by the knock. Just as tackle after the whistle has blown, they follow through with the tackle, which was just not needed.
Okay. Let's go.
Quite a relief for Jean-Claude Winkler, who knocked the ball on with his first play. Right now, AJ de Klerk, number 3 prop, who scored that wonderful try in the first half, was receiving some treatment on the right-hand side of
Then
his
you've got
screen.
to use the ball.
Oh, and it doesn't look like he'll be able to continue, AJ de Klerk. 24 Namibia caps to his name.
Number 3, sub.
He won't be playing any further part in this game. Back onto the field, Desiderius Setti. We'll say the name any chance you get the opportunity. Did some good work as well for Welwitschias. And he's back onto the field. Rolling subs in the SuperSport Rugby Challenge, if you're wondering why players are coming on and off the field. Another perfect line out.
It's good, use it now, use the use.
He uses the call, Chucky van der Westhuizen gets it out to Winkler, and they keep it moving. It's into the hands of Justin Newman, wrapping around now. And the Griffons tackles becoming more desperate as Daryl Delaharp takes it to deck. Williams with the attempted aggressive counter ruck, and the penalty is earned.
Counter-ruck's good, playing the ball back.
The aggressive work of the Griffons at that breakdown pays off big time.
Jean-Claude Winkler seems to have contested it on the floor. Ball not out. He has a second attempt at the try.
Griffons have costed themselves in that way many different times. Almost a good steal there. Just lost his feet at the last moment. Griffons are coming for it again. Driving straight over the top of that ball. Wow, whoa. Those players have to be offsides after that counter-attack. The ball is called out and Welwitschias pounce on it. Levine Damons, and that is away to Daryl Delaharp. Chucky van der Westhuizen. The intensity has just ratcheted up a notch in this match. Winkler sends it to the right, and Peter Steenkamp with that crisp pass of his that's been in evidence since he arrived onto the field. Prompt gets it out to Christu van der Merwe, and he can't hold on to the ball. Play on is the call. It's with Dominic Smit. No gaps for Smit, so he's looking for support. And a high tackle is called, and that's one of those unfortunate situations when you are towering well above the 2-meter mark. Once you hang out your arm, it's a natural high tackle.
Now that high tackle come from Desidari Setti. Could have made a bit of more attempt to drop the shoulder. Went straight to the neck.
Fair enough. And Griffons are taking their time to arrive at this line-out. Both teams must just really be very nervous about this match as the minutes tick on. We're approaching the final 20 minutes of the match. 2 points separate the two sides. And the Griffons already have a victory to their name this season, but Welwitschias will be desperate. In it goes. This time it works out for Griffons, and it is into Ethan Williams' hands. Another product of the Griffons champion under-20 Currie Cup side. Ethan Williams.
You're offside! You're off, leave it!
Approaching the 22-meter line of Welwitschias. And Williams sends it again, and here is Dominic Smit. Smit sends it out to Alexander. Alexander keeps it moving to Alberts. And Alexander might have been in himself if he just kept ball in hand. How dangerous are these wings for Griffons? And straight at the line is Arthur Williams.
Leave it, 19, leave it.
Chucky van der Westhuizen called off the ball. Ethan Williams this time sends it to Duan Pretorius. And Duan Pretorius gets over the line. Griffin Colby awards the try.
Duan Pretorius deserved this try. This man has been quite busy today. Been setting up those tries, and right now scratching one up for himself. And also Andre Alberts did very well sticking there, supporting him with that weight.
Yeah, I'm taking it. It's fine now. Okay.
Right, the opportunity presented himself to score. First attempt came in from Arthur Williams.
Thanks, Nimbo.
And then the opportunity was seen by Ethan Williams. That Dwayne Pretorius was on his own, supported by Andrew Alberts to score the try.
Thanks, Johan.
This big, strong number 10, Duan Pretorius. He gets no sort of clean connection on that kick. And Jaywin Juries, who's off the field for Ethan Williams, obviously taken off kicking duties. And here is how the try ended. Duan Pretorius forcing his way over the line. Welwitschias eventually running out of numbers. And Ethan Williams, the 21 for Griffons, who's playing at the halfback position. And that champion Griffons under-20 Currie Cup side, he scored 7 tries himself. And just to remind you, the number 11, Alistair Mumba, the other member of that side in this Griffons team now, 17 tries in one season. Up it goes from Peter Steenkamp. And Griffons will start from deep. It's Ethan Williams. It's off to Dominic Smit, who's been growing in stature throughout this match. Over the head of Peter Steenkamp, who brings it in very well. He takes the responsibility of sending it back the other way. Oh, a huge mistake by Duan Pretorius inside of his own 22-meter line. And Welwitschias have another path into this match.
Perfect opportunity for Welwitschias to win the scrum. Well, they have been winning the old scrums, and same as Griffons. But just unfortunate for Dwayne Pretorius knocking on that ball He's been quite on par today.
Left of the mark.
Slight mistake.
New hooker, left of the mark. Let's set up left.
Martin, the battle continues up front.
Yeah, go left, please. There's the mark.
Big scrum, boy. Big scrum.
Indeed, it does, Paul. Well, Welwitschias have won
Get your setup right, please.
3 of their own 4
Get on the
scrums.
close, okay? Get on the close. Yep.
Maybe this can be 4 out of the 5 scrums.
Let's set up perfect, please.
Maybe with the replacements that have came in the name of Roderick, Victor and Andre Pretorius, there may be a difference in contest.
Andre Rademacher on the near side of your screen for Welwitschias, just 20 years old.
Bye.
He has 1 cap for Namibia,
Sit.
so he's very much the youth prospect in this team. Leneve Damons in the number 8 jersey,
Right, relax,
25
relax,
years
relax,
old.
relax.
He went to the Rugby World
Seven,
Cup
you
in
gotta be square, okay?
2015.
Get you up against each other.
Louis van der Westhuizen also in his mid-20s.
Thank you. No, no. This
So
is the
these
problem. This
Namibians
is the
are
problem.
building towards not just
Not
this
square.
World Cup, but the next one as well. They've been in and out of the South African game for a number of years, Namibia. Since the 80s and 1990, they got their independence as a Namibian nation, so there was some unrest, which meant they had to pull out of the Currie Cup, and they'd got to the semi-finals in just 1988, I think.
Bye. Sit.
Since then, it has been a rebuilding phase for Namibia, and it has been a long one. Taking it out the back is Jean-Claude Winkler, trying to have runners in motion, but the Griffons' defensive line has forced them backwards and a knock-on is called. The Griffons will be excited about that.
Jean-Claude Winkler must be getting frustrated. Second knock coming at a crucial moment. Not getting clean passes out.
Yep.
But that may have looked like
12.
Neil Stander touched that ball in the tackle. But rather we're coming back for the knock-on from Jean-Claude.
Let's go. Time back on. Set up.
Referee Griffin Colby calls time back on. And those stats have really come back into balance after Griffons were dominating them in the first half. Especially so, visits to opponents 22, in which they were excelling Namibia by about 4, and they've really reeled them back in, have Welwitschias.
Sit. Steady.
Holding up well this scrum. Does anybody have the advantage? Griffons appear to be marching, and they'll have to hold on now. Namibia, I'm seeing a knee on the ground, but Ethan Williams clears it from the base. Here's try scorer Neil Stannard, or rather the man who created the try for Duan Pretorius. What a kick that is! Overrunning it slightly, Alistair Mumba. And it bounced into touch as well. Disappointment for Neil Stannard. But the smiles on the faces of the players are the most important thing at a celebration of rugby like this festival of the SuperSport Rugby Challenge in Rustenburg.
Paul, it's always bliss when you know that you have 2 pistols on the wingers and confident enough that if punted, they will chase down that ball. Just didn't get the bounce.
Use it.
Rising
Use it.
high
Come
to
here, use
receive
it.
that time,
Use it,
Ruan
use it.
Ludik,
Get it. Use it.
along with his 16 caps for Namibia. Now breaking around the blind is Christo van der Merwe. Griffons attacking this breakdown again. But Welwitschias have done well to secure. However, they do appear to be suffering on the aggression stakes when it comes to the Griffons, who have really cranked it up here in the final 20. Peter Steenkamp is forced to clear
Yep.
with no clear intent. Alistair Mumba, he wants to run it back at them now. Mumba. It's his opportunity to show his coaches and of course the nation what he's all about. This up-and-coming youngster from Griffons. Gavin Annandale, such an experienced player. He's been with Griffons since 2010.
8 on the side.
A man with no
On the side,
number on
number
his
8,
back with the
number
red
8.
scrum cap in the middle of your screen right now. Who's played for Boerland, Leopards, Lions. A product of Brandwag. And he gives service to this Griffin side.
Leneve Damons with a second side entry infringement. Welwitschias just running a bit thin when it comes to contesting straight from the side. Didn't make an attempt to enter from the gate, and a penalty for the Griffons.
Well, the maul is going elsewhere, out the right of your screen, and it's Ethan Williams who digs in to retrieve. Duan Pretorius still a line. Will Welwitschias' tacklers continue to hold on to this hefty number 10. He appears to be injured now. And now Jean Pretorius. The Griffons accelerating in the final quarter of the match. Ethan Williams caught by Johannes Tromp. Standout player for Welwitschias. Dominic Smith picks himself up off the floor to clear as a halfback. Now Tato Mavundla moving the Griffons forward once more. Ethan Williams, he does seem to be intent on quick ball. Gavin Annandale moving it out wide, but that is dominated into touch. Dr. Boyson.
Time off. Injury.
Oh dear, this is the last thing we need. Duan Pretorius already had a serious injury in this match. That coming to Chris Aries of Welwitschias.
How much?
Oh, that's looks like a knocking knees against De La Harpe. Just a bit of ice on it, but it tends to get a bit numb, such a knock.
That injury, knock off knees.
Compared to
no problem.
the previous injury that we saw, this is rather tame. So let us hope that this is just a bruising injury for Duan Pretorius.
Yes. Okay.
Dandre Versace seems to be standing in position for fly-off.
All right, time back on.
Oh, good luck to you, Duan Pretorius. Now we are taking a look at the various coaching structures. In charge of Griffons this year, after the long reign, 11 years of Urson Gorgonzola, legendary coach in South Africa, Jacques Juries is now the head coach of Griffons. Formerly of the Harmony Academy, the place that produced the likes of Branko de Preur, and he takes over from Mr. Gorgonzola, who is now forwards coach. This line out over the top, excellently taken by Cameron van Heerden. That's the 5-meter line of Welwitschias. Danger as Williams gets it out to Annandale. Play on is the call, potential obstruction. But the knock-on comes eventually, and the experienced man cannot hold on to the ball.
Gavin Annandale just seemed to have slightly knocked the ball in, connecting in the pounce.
Okay, you gotta work on your bind. You can't drag it bind. Get your elbow up and get further, please. Okay. Yep, there's the mark. Let's go, guys. Set up.
Right there, was trying to extend to place it, just lost control of the ball.
Work hard on your bind. Who set?
Paul, you've mentioned the experience in the coach and Jacques Juries, and then Phil Davis from Welwitschias rather, also has quite some experience. He played in Italy for Lanersia, 350 caps. Also coached since 1996 Cardiff Blues Warriors as well.
Take a look at that scrum, Martin.
On the 5, on the 5.
Penalty, and not a penalty try being given. Ethan Williams wants to tap and go quickly. That had to be spread through the hands. Williams is right there again. It's frantic from Griffons. Will it pay off? Or will they have squandered an opportunity reaching for the line? It's been spotted. It's been spotted and robbed. Oh, yes. Sharp stuff from Jean-Claude Winkler. Heads up play. And Welwitschias live to breathe once more. This is a 7-point match, and they are holding on by the skin of their teeth. 2 tries behind Griffons, but yet they are here fighting tooth and nail. That spread wide right behind their own try line.
Backwards, play on, backwards.
The flag stays down from the assistant referee. This could just work out for Griffons, and they're tackled behind their own try line in a really calamitous turn of events, moment after moment.
Well, we're just in such
Bring it on, bring them on.
a pressuring
Numbers, give me numbers.
state in the field. You get the ball and release the pressure.
Time's off, guys, relax.
Yeah, that ball was put down just a bit short.
Jean-Claude Winkler
Come back on.
He did very well to spot that ball and get it out.
Extremely well. Peter Steenkamp appears to be a capable fly half ever since he's come on. He has been excellent. Away from the base, Dominic Smit. Cameron van Heerden. Ethan Williams moving into the left. Denrich Vasagie. All sorts of subs on now.
Backwards.
And that is untidy. But Griffons will come away with it. And Ludio Williams, who has really been hiding in the second half compared to his work in the first. The offload from Dominic Smit to Gavin Annandale, who throws another loose one. And this one comes up with Thomasu Forbes. Welwitschias will be desperate to move this upfield with less than 6 minutes to play in this match. And they have a sniff of a draw, if not a victory, if they can score quickly. Oh, yes, please. Moving it from deep is Dominic Smit. Smit has beaten a couple, and now he's got options.
Number 22, pulling back. Pulling back.
Sickening stuff. One of his teammates holding somebody back, Martin, nullifying his good work.
After he sent Welwitschias shopping with some great stepping. Oh, man.
Oh, that's exciting stuff. Oh, SuperSport Rugby Challenge keeps serving it up. Peter Steenkamp kicks to the corner. It all rides on this, Martin. The lineouts have been superb all day long.
Look at this dancing, Paul. I think you can take some notes.
Okay.
Back to the inside. Samba, rumba. Sending them window shopping. Just not
Off.
not the best player, but Duncan van Vieren.
Probably didn't have to hold that man back either, all things considered.
Dominic was gone.
Come back on.
Well, Dominic Smit, he has been dominating this match, especially as it's worn on in the second half. He's been superb. Roderick Victor. New man on, Martin. Jackie van der Westhuizen leaves the scene.
Come.
Key line out. First put in.
Roderick Victor just throwing the ball skew. Finding Ruan Ludig on the right shoulder, or rather the left shoulder from that angle. 10 meters from the try line. Not the best line out.
Born in Luderitz in Namibia, and he has been playing for Namibia's national team since 2012, Roderick Victor.
Bye.
And in so being very much a mentor to Louis van der Westhuizen. And it comes from Ethan Williams. They've got a talent on their hands, and this number 9, Ethan Williams, marching forward, advantage to Griffons. Eventually they do get the benefit of their dominant scrum, taken in by Williams. Ethan Williams, and they will turn to the boot under a penalty advantage, and they launch it downfield. Advantage is over. Johannes Tromp is underneath this. It's time to run it. And that is a forward pass. That is going to be, it's going to leave the coaches' heads spinning.
Yep. 3.
Johannes Trump could have made a better decision to run the ball back to support. Just decided to pass it back, and it was forward. Clear forward pass. You can see by the way the ball left his hands, that was way forward.
I think it's one of the unspoken rules in rugby, Martin, that on the counter-attack, those kind of forward passes tend to get let go more often than other ones. I've never been a fan of it, but I'm glad to see that one being called. And Johannes Tromp, who had a Puma's youth, had 38 caps for his nation, has let his team down there.
Fine. Sit.
We are approaching the final 2 minutes of this match, and it remains a 7-point gap between the two sides. Griffons must control this. Picking up is Nofuma. Williams takes it to the line. Ethan Williams. That pass is from Hartzenberg, and a fine pass it was. Welwitschias players over the ball, but being called off because he was in an offside position, Gal said. Griffons retain possession, and their intensity is still exemplary late on in this match. clearing out this ball with all that they are worth. Ethan Williams digs in again. Advantage being played to Griffons now, and we'll have a
Five,
penalty,
offside.
and that should give them the opportunity to wrap
Five,
this
wide,
match
offside.
up in terms of points, Martin.
Okay.
I believe so. I think they take opportunity to go for Paul's final minute and a couple of seconds of this half. Look, Welwitschias all of a sudden defense creeping instead of taking the opportunity to rush on defense and make the tackles.
Oh, maybe mental fatigue playing a factor there. They just trotted offsides. Look at the time on the clock, Martin. It doesn't get any more crucial than this. 7 points still standing between the two sides. They have taken their two biggest chances of the match. The one with the line out in the opposition 22, and now giving away a cheap penalty in their own, giving Griffons the opportunity for victory.
Just to reiterate this, Paul, some of these Welwitschias players only played this SuperSport Rugby Challenge being the highest level they play, where Chucky has been exposed to some Varsity Cup intensity.
Denach Vasachi was successful with that attempt, and that takes it out to a 10-point gap, and there are only 10 seconds left to play, meaning that Welwitschias have been buried here today. Eager to play on though quickly and get themselves consolation try if possible. Charging up to chase that is Daryl Delaharp, appropriately the captain, working till the final minute of the match, and this man Ludio Williams appropriately still working late on as well. Ethan Williams hard to the line. Will Welwitschias get hands on? No, it's all fallen down. Nobody keeping their feet at that ruck. Ethan Williams. Yasir Hartzenberg stopped again. At times the Welwitschias defense has been really exemplary. The final hooter is now gone. The match is safe for Griffons. But in the spirit of the game, Dominic Smith does not think twice about trying to counter-attack. Ethan Williams, on the other hand, has seen enough. He puts boot to ball, he kicks it into touch, and he claims the victory for Griffons, as Welwitschias just did not have enough to stay in this match. And Martin, it was a hard-fought battle between two teams struggling. How did it go down here today?
Was a hard-fought battle. Indeed, Griffons did very well in terms of using the opportunities in the first half, and Welwitschias' defense was quite better in this half, not allowing Griffons to use those opportunities. But nonetheless, both teams brought it to the park. A 10-point difference between the two, with the Griffons being successful, with the final time being 34 to Griffons and 24 to the Welwitschias.
Can you believe it? This is brilliant. Totally demolishing the opposition. The rest is history.